Alrighty, welcome back yet again to a little trade deadline edition. Excuse my wandering eyes as I have the Suns and Bucks pulled up. In case of any unforeseen meltdowns in this last 15 minutes of the game. We got our NBA trade deadline edition. Trade deadline occurred about 8 hours ago. So we have all the trades here, just a little raw reaction, some maybe an idea of who we think won the trades, kind of how we think it'll impact each teams in the future, and just kind of around there. So I'm guessing we will not be talking about the Lakers or the Knicks or the teams that didn't make any moves, just kind of to preface it.
Wait, I was actually going to start with the Lakers and Knicks.
Well, no. I have no interest in them.
As Rob Palinka at Disneyland?
As Campaign said, they're the worst team in the NBA.
The man was at Disneyland.
He knew what he was doing.
Which one's
the GM was on the phone.
Honestly, probably more than Palinka was.
All right. So that's the only comment I'll make about the Lakers is I hate people who say LeBron doesn't deserve this. He picked the team. He deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
He turned out Kyle Kuzma has gone on record saying that he was packing his bags for Sacramento, and LeBron said no to the Buddy Hield trade. Just saying. All right. So we're gonna go through every trade that happened in February. So we'll get started with the first one. We'll get CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell to the New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Tomas Satoransky, Didi Louzada, a 2022 lottery-protected first, a 2026 and 2027 second-round picks that the best of the two picks convey to Portland. How you guys feel about that one?
When I first saw this, I was like, oh, cool. The CJ McCollum for a couple players in a pick. It's about fair because McCollum's had like a down stretch. And then out of nowhere, the Blazers became idiots and they traded Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Jazz.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker is an atrocious shooter.
But like even still better than
his splits this year have been like he's shooting like 30% from the field.
He's still young.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, my reaction, I like the move if you move on from Damian Lillard. I think you just need to kind of clear that. I mean, I know he's a franchise legend and he wants to stay with them. Maybe they're clearing cap, but they have to hit on a free agent but who's a free agent? Harden opted in. I don't know. I don't love the move. I don't hate the move in the sense of like I think that they do need to reset because that's not a championship team.
Get John Wall. But that's an option. It's an option.
Why would you want John Wall if you could just?
I know it's terrible. Bradley.
So that's what I'm saying. I think if they can get Bradley Beal even a free agent, yeah, right.
I think his extension kicks in. I'm not sure.
I think it's an option. Or does he have an extension?
Yeah, I just looked at unrestricted free agents. It's bad.
I think it's like he can sign like a max contract and then check he's a free agent, I think.
Yeah, this is really bad.
He can opt out though.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, all right. So if they hit on Bradley Beal, maybe.
Yeah, the best free agent is Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think he's going back. He's going back to Chicago. Yeah, I mean, if you hit on Bradley Beal, maybe. I just don't love the trade. I would rather you commit to a rebuild or not commit to a rebuild, but don't do the, you know what I mean? Don't be in the middle where you're kind of committing, but not really. Pat?
You said something interesting. You said you like the move, or you think Portland should just move on from Damian Lillard now, like reset?
Yeah. Or go out, or they have to hit on a free agent, one of the two.
More on the reset one. Do you leave Damian Lillard in Portland and change cities, or do you get rid of Damian Lillard? Because he is representative of the city of Portland. So do you just start a new team?
I trade Damian Lillard and then I move to Seattle.
And let Damian
run from the grind.
To Portland. Gotcha.
Damn, we're down by 20. Let's go. I didn't run from the grind. There's the one picture that I thought was pretty cool of CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, Robert Covington, and Norman Powell all like reaching down to pick Damian Lillard up like on a play where he fell down, and then like none of them are there anymore. But yeah, so at the end of the day, we'll see what they do with it. This is more of a wait and kind of see for my full reaction on that.
Mhm.
I don't love the move if they're doing the let's keep Damian Lillard and go for the title again, because Larry Nance, they don't know what they had with him. He is a fantastic basketball player.
I think they traded him because his knee. He had surgery. He was out. Was it 4 to 6 weeks?
It seems
So-
like you also forgetting that he is Patrick Starr,
That is true.
the greatest edit in Twitter history. But
The most useless
that.
edit.
It's true. All right, we moving on.
Yeah.
Trade.
Well, hold on, before we move on, I just want to say from the other standpoint of the Pelicans, I do really like the trade for the Pelicans.
I do too. I think that's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, keep me afloat till Zion eventually returns in 3 years.
I mean, Zion hopefully is back soon. He's one of those guys where like it's so upsetting because like he is one of the best players in the NBA when healthy. The guy averaged 27 points in his second season. It just doesn't happen. But he's got to be healthy. I do think he needs to drop a little bit of weight just to play at it, but I don't think he needs to drop like 70 pounds, like some people are saying. But I mean, he's a professional athlete. He knows his body better than we do. So we'll see. I think he does. Everybody that knows their body better than anyone else. I would say that we wait and see with him. They're a playing team for sure.
I'm on some roids. That's what we need.
No, it's not the MLB. They're going to test him. All right.
LeBron's
Moving
on
on.
roids for 3 years.
Moving on. Karis LeVert to the Cavaliers and return Ricky Rubio, a 2022 first-round lottery-protected pick, and 2022 seconds, one from Houston and one from Utah, go to the Indiana Pacers. Expiring money with Rubio.
Yeah. Not for the year too, so no roster spot.
It was LeVert for picks. I love it. I think Indiana needs to rebuild. I was a big fan of their team. I was high on them in general.
It's basically 2 first.
Yeah, Houston's going to be around 32, 33, something like that. And Utah will be late second round, but we'll see if the first will probably convey this year, barring an unforeseen collapse by the Cavs. Cavs side, LeVert's a good player. We'll see, how much he buys into the system. I think having an all-star with Darius Garland with the ball is going to be big, because I think LeVert, like, he does need the ball to be a very good scorer, but I think kind of playing with a team that has a ball dominant guard's better for him than, because Brogdon doesn't need the ball. He can come off and shoot, and so that's been an issue for them. Anybody got any reactions on either side of the deal?
I'm just happy Allen and LeVert are back together. They have really good chemistry. I don't know. Seems like
Don't
LeVert.
worry. We're gonna get into the delusional Nets fan moments for both later.
Oh hell yeah! And then I like he's from Ohio, so it's like a homecoming for him. So perfect fit all around.
All right, and then Indiana, cool with the rebuild movement.
The homecoming for Karis LeVert.
It's true. Pat, your thoughts?
Yeah, kind of the same. I like grabbing Indiana rebuilding, and then that's a good fit for Cleveland, who's a team who, like, I don't know, maybe they want a playoff series or two.
Yeah, we'll see.
Match up with.
They're young, they're talented, and they got experience with K-Love, so we'll see what happens with them. Moving on, we have another Blazers trade. Norman Powell and Rocco for Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick from Detroit. I don't mind it. Again, if you're going to rebuild.
I dislike it a lot.
I've always liked Justice Winslow. I think he's a very, very good role player. If he stays healthy, he's a very good role player. Keon Johnson, it's really unfortunate for him because he might be the guy. I saw somebody say this, and I wholeheartedly agree. He might be the one person in the NBA that needs the G League more than every other player, just to have some time to develop his body. And he goes to Portland, which is one of 2 NBA franchises who does not have a G League team. So, I mean, he's going to be in the G League somewhere, or he might even get some burn. Rocco, I don't know what his value was like around the league. I mean,
Well, they traded 2 first from him.
We're not, I mean, I
So-
know what his value was around the league. I don't know what his value is now around the league. So Norman Powell's a great player.
Yeah.
We're not tapped in. We don't have any kind of idea of, I mean, I've heard some stuff about certain players, and I will kind of speak to their value a little bit. But I think for the Blazers, it's okay if you're rebuilding. If you're not, it's the stupid. I don't know why this trade was.
I don't think they are.
They said they want to sign a free agent, but it doesn't make any sense. I mean, clearing money, that's the only thing it does.
This isn't too much. And then on top of that, what you gave up to get both of these players, it's just a lose extremely. Gary Trent's gone, multiple first round picks.
Yeah.
A season of Dame. It's all.
Yeah. I don't love it.
I think this is all just setting up for them to just leave Portland and let Damian Lillard stay.
Got him. All right. And then for the Clippers, 2 more wings. They have every single wing in the NBA. Pretty
It
much.
just sucks that none of their stars.
No, it doesn't suck for me.
For you, no.
It doesn't suck for me, baby. Come on. Alfred Payton can't hit a fucking free throw, man. Jesus Christ.
He's
All right. All right. Moving on. We have one of the big shocks of the deadline. The Halliburton, Heald, and Thompson for Sabonis, Lamb, and Lamb. But it was actually Sabonis, Lamb, Justin Holiday, and a 2023 second round pick from Sacramento. Or sorry, from Indiana. Indiana, I love this deal for them. So this is where I have heard some things. If anyone listened to JJ Redick's stream today about the deadline, he said that he understands that Tyrese Halliburton had significantly more value around the league than De'Aaron Fox. Not surprising, because Tyrese Halliburton is the best player on that team, or was the best player on that team.
Let's come off the bench too.
Yeah. I started a little bit sometimes.
A little bit because Fox got hurt.
Yeah, but Halliburton was playing the best of anyone on that team, outside of just pure counting stats. If you look at everything else, but he, apparently there was heavy interest, and there were teams around the league that thought that he was untouchable, and that they would have offered more than this had they known that he was available. But it seems very Kings, because the Kings have been known to kind of key in on guys in general, and so my guess is they keyed in on Sabonis. Fox didn't work. Like they were just like, we like Heald. We're okay with taking on Tristan Thompson, but we don't want the Aaron Fox. We'd rather have Tyrese Halliburton. And they were like, okay, we'll give you Halliburton. I like Sabonis a lot. I made it very clear to everybody in this. I think that I agree that it was. There you go. I agree that Halliburton might be of more value in terms of trade asset wise, just because he's on a rookie contract you have him essentially for 7 years if he signs an extension with you. Right. So you have him for 7 years compared to Sabonis, which is about 2.5. Sabonis is a phenomenal basketball player. He's not a great shooter. He doesn't play very good defense, but he is an excellent rebounder, an excellent passer. He can score. I really think he's going to be really good in Sacramento. Sacramento might not be good, but he might be really good in Sacramento.
They're 1-0 in the Samantha Sabonis era.
It's true.
Does he even play? No, right?
22, 14, 5.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. He had a great game.
Oh, was that that?
It was yesterday.
I don't even know.
Justin Holiday, though. No.
Justin
Not a good
Holiday cannot play in Sacramento. He is not vaccinated. I like Jeremy Lamb.
He's
Frank
playing.
Mello
He
likes
played.
Jeremy Lamb. In Sacramento.
I think it's just LA.
Okay. I've heard
He
that.
went 2 for 11 before 6 points.
Interesting. Cam Johnson for 3. Suns are now up 18.
Fraudulent Bucks. Need to injure people to win.
Oh, no. We're not doing that.
Salty.
Yeah, I like the trade for the Pacers. Starting up your rebuild with Halliburton is an excellent move. And I actually like the trade for the Kings as well. I think that there are worlds where the trade works both ways. And I understand the people kind of saying, like, you hit on a pick finally. Why would you trade him? And he has all this value. And I agree with that. But I think a city like Sacramento is such a small market, and they have zero faith in their organization. I'm serious. And a guy like Sabonis, who's going to put up pretty gaudy numbers, and they might win a couple more games with him. It's going to be good for the fan base. But we'll see. We'll see how that kind of turns out. But thoughts?
They're gonna flip Buddy Hield, I'm pretty sure, in the offseason. So
Probably.
they'll get more assets. Tristan Thompson, I thought could be a buyout candidate, but
He's not good.
I don't know. He's better than he would 100% get picked up by a contender if he got bought out.
I don't know, but Tristan Thompson can only rebound.
And that's what some teams need.
Butch, are you saying the Nets would sign Tristan Thompson if he was bought
Not
out?
anymore after what just happened. If it was like a week ago and he got bought out, yeah. It's kind of sad, but they need rebounding. It's really bad.
Stay honest, really thinks he can hit threes. Anyway, Pat, your thoughts?
I like the trade for the Pacers.
Okay. I agree. I think they're a phenomenal trade for them.
Yeah, especially with the rebuilding. I think that's some nice pieces to build. I think Halliburton's a nice piece to build around. And then I just like the meme where it's like Halliburton 2 weeks ago. I want to change the culture here in Sacramento, and they're like,
He
nah.
tried.
He's apparently distraught. Like, he has not wanted to appear in front of media at all for the last 2 days. He's very upset. Man said, I have to go to Indiana.
He's from California too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. He's a young guy. He's very talented, and you get attached to areas. You know what I mean? I'm sure he does a lot of charity work in the area, but it is at the end of the day a business for teams, and they're going to do what they have to do. I agree that player empowerment is really important, but guys get traded all the time. You know what I mean? But you know, he's a young guy. He'll grow to love Indiana in some ways. Or maybe he won't, and he'll pull a James Harden and ask for 2 trades in 2 years. Whatever. All right, moving on. One of my favorite deals at the deadline, KZ Okpala to the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for a 2026 second. However, the key stipulation to this deal was that Oklahoma City agreed to defer Miami's 2023 first-round pick that was supposed to convey to Oklahoma City to 2025. And that will be it'll be a lottery protected pick, or if it does not convey in 2025, it will be an unprotected 2026 first. Okay, so this is something that I wanted the Suns to do.
Dub.
I wanted the Suns to do this deal with them. Was my look. David Klein does this really good newsletter for the Suns. If anyone out here is a Suns fan, and he kind of wrote about what it would take to move multiple first-round picks and deals for us. And that one way that we could advance the things was that the lottery protected, or the protected pick to the Thunder this year in the Chris Paul deal could be conveyed way in the future. And that works for the Thunder because it's them betting on the Heat or the Suns or a team like that they have a pick being worse in 5 years than they are right now, which is not a ridiculous notion. And so, you know, kind of doing that deal provides the option that maybe it's a lottery pick in 5 years, or maybe it's not the 30th pick in the draft. I really like this deal. I think it's Oklahoma City gets another young guy they can try out and see if anything can happen with him. And the Heat get off Okpala. I'm sure they're going to bring some random guy from the G League that's going to shoot 58% from three.
Every year.
Yeah, and they push a pick. So in the offseason, they have another pick to deal, an earlier pick to deal. So your guys' reaction to this, I think this is a pretty quick one.
I think it's equal. I like KZ Okpala's. I like his potential, honestly. Like, there's a ton of Heat fans on Twitter, like, hyping him up so much his rookie year. Didn't really develop, but the Thunder, they're doing their thing. I don't know.
They know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing a phenomenal job at it.
Fifth graders.
The only thing I don't like about this trade is that the Thunder moved one of their picks.
It was a second, but
I want to see them get as many as possible at this point.
It's fair, but my argument at that point would be KZ Okpala is worth the 2026.
No, I think it's a good trade for. I think it's a good trade for OKC.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So moving on. Connected to our first deal, the Utah Jazz receive Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Juancho Hernan-Gomez. In exchange, Portland receives Joe Ingles, Eli Hughes, and a second-round pick from Utah. And the Spurs receive Tomas Satoransky and a second-round pick from Utah. Pat, your thoughts?
This one I'm kind of just impartial on.
Yeah. Joe Ingles is out for the year. So Portland basically added a second for some reason. For the Spurs, Satoransky is not good that good at basketball, but I'm sure Greg Popovich is gonna love him. And they get a second as well. The Jazz are rolling the dice. Juancho Hernan-Gomez is a big wing who can shoot. Probably play some stretch four if he plays at all. Alexander Walker is a young guard. I don't really love his fit in Utah. I think he not going to get enough shots off the bench with Jordan Clarkson shooting every single shot off the bench. Although maybe they'll figure something out with him. We'll see. Just versatile guy. So, any reactions there? I feel like this is pretty.
I don't like the Blazers in this move again.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just I've really hated most of their moves.
that's fair.
Because Joe Ingles is probably going to go back to Jazz in free agency. And then,
Can he?
yeah, he could.
I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, if you're traded at the deadline, you can't re-sign.
Will he retire
the
the
offseason? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I could be off based on that, but I'm pretty. I mean, it might have been a specific thing with somebody, but
We're not
but like
those Chapmans then.
yeah, sure.
Pulling a roll with Chapman.
All right, and I mean, NBA has a lot of stuff that. Another important note, by the way, might I add, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are $23 million below the NBA's salary floor, which means if they do not take at least $23 million in money by the end of the draft or the start of the new league year, they have to send whatever leftover money as bonuses to their players. Just a little note.
Someone signed a $20 million contract in free agency.
No, free agency, I believe, is the start of the next league. Oh, it might be. Because who are they going to sign for $20 million? Anyway,
Isaiah Thomas.
They have that salary for thing to work out. Cam Johnson is elite, might I add. And McCall Bridges is too.
The Warriors are selling.
Are they losing?
They're down by 7.
Beautiful. The next deal is one that Boach is very passionate about. The Celtics receive a 2023 second, and the Magic get a 2022 second, cash considerations, PJ Dozier, and Bol.
Not even lying. Bol and PJ Dozier have so much potential. They can stay healthy.
No, they don't,
But
actually.
They
PJ
do.
Dozier is a bench guard at best, and Bol is a consistently hurt, not that good. He's not that good on the court either.
Potential.
He has no interest in playing ever. And might I add that he's completely handicapped. They have Wendell Carter, Mo Bamba, and they're going to draft another big man in front of him probably.
Think of it. They can have Jonathan Isaac, Franz Wagner, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter in a starting lineup, and they could just have the longest wingspans in NBA history.
Coach, who is shooting on that roster?
Cole Anthony can take 30 shots a game. I don't care.
No.
Markelle Fultz too.
From 3. Who is shooting a 3?
Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross is being bought out.
No, he said I'm staying.
Not in Butch's imaginary world.
Unless he's going to the Nets, then Butch will be okay. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's just a kind of a throwaway deal. Bol and Dozier are both out for the year. Clears money off Boston's cap. Magic take it on, get a pick and some cash. Moving on. Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, and a 2022 second to the Raptors in exchange for Dragic and a 2022 first. How the fuck did they get a first for Thad Young?
We had 3-team trade. Was Dragic part of the Heat?
No, Dragic. So, pretty sure Dragic owns the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. So, we'll see. We'll see what it's like for an owner to hop on the roster.
But the guy didn't even play this year, Thaddeus Young.
He did play this year.
Really?
Yeah, quite a bit. He was atrocious when he played, but he played. Yeah, I mean, the Suns were interested in the offseason, and the Spurs were kind of like, we want a little bit more than Smith, Sarge in a first, and then he was bad. And so the Suns were like, we'll take you on the buyout market, but the rip through failed.
Rough speed.
No, Drew Holiday stripped it.
Okay.
It's a 22 point game anyway, I think. Yeah, 22. Yeah, just I don't get this deal for the Raptors in terms of giving all that up. I guess you can now play more than 6 guys a game, but we will see if Nick Nurse wants to.
Every time I see Nick Nurse, he's like hunched over, like looking like he's in pain.
Yeah. All right. So those were kind of the outside deals, other than the Halliburton deal. Here we're going to get into a little bit more of the interesting parts. So we'll start. We'll kind of increase in what I define as the most important on the second page. So
If we're on the same list, I think this is a crazy trade.
Daniel Tice to the Celtics in exchange for Dennis Schroeder, Ennis Freedom, and Bruno Fernando.
And his freedom. Did you see what he posted today?
I don't give a shit what he posted. He can.
It was quite funny.
I hope
Just
he
because how
doesn't play.
cringy it
No,
was.
no, he shouldn't play another NBA game. The guy is the stupidest person I've ever seen online. Guy gets his American rights and goes, beautiful. Now I can be racist. Literally, quite literally.
Yeah, he literally posted LeBron James with the dictator of China, and LeBron James like has to like make him speak, and it's really stupid.
Ennis Cantor is a clown. Or Freedom, I apologize. He can.
Ennis Cantor Freedom.
He's getting bought out. I doubt a team picks him
He
up.
waived actually.
A wave,
Yeah.
even better. Schroeder will probably be bought out, I'd imagine. Bruno Fernando will stay. I don't love the deal for the Celtics. I don't think that Daniel Tice is great fit with. I mean, is Williams or Horford hurt? Did I miss that? But
No,
I
not.
I think it's just a log jam when Dennis Schroeder's a very good player.
I think he just freed
But-
up space.
Probably some cap. I imagine Schroeder will be on a contender. Any thoughts from you guys? This is another kind of deal where it's like a throwaway. That's what it feels like.
We skipped over the Suns deals.
No, I didn't.
We didn't.
I know.
Oh,
We have many more trades to go.
no, snap.
We're going in increasing importance. Next up, we have Montrezl Harrell to the Hornets in exchange for Vernon Carey Jr., Ish Smith, and Boston's 2023 second. I like the deal for Charlotte. Montrez returns to with his college teammate from the University of Louisville, Terry Rozier. And imagine LaMelo throwing lobs to Montrezl Harrell and Miles Bridges. Now we're cooking with fire. LaMelo! Oh, Terry! Yeah. So I mean, I like the deal. Your thoughts?
It's a salary dump. It works.
Yeah, I mean, Wizards are selling. I like it. I think
Mhm.
they should sell. Cool. The next deal is a 14 trade. I have it all mapped out. Don't worry, fellas.
Thank goodness.
I love that the Suns have a Moderna shot of the game. Sponsor.
Give it a Kyrie.
No, it's Katie Duncan. Katie. DA Duncan on.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis. Katie is a future Sun though. Milwaukee receives Serge Ibaka, 2 seconds, one from Sacramento, one from Detroit, and cash from the Clippers. The Clippers receive Rodney Hood, Semi Ojeleye, and Vanja Marinkovic. The Kings receive Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, David Minchnu, and a second from Detroit. And the Pistons receive Marvin Bagley. I like Bagley getting a new home in Detroit. I think that'll be cool for him. See what happens there. Ibaka is going to be size that and some mobility that Brook Lopez doesn't have. And he plays better defense than Bobby Portis for sure. So I appreciate that aspect of it. And then the Kings, they're kind of just grabbing at straws here.
They finally got DiVincenzo.
You finally got DiVincenzo. Whatever the hell is happening with Josh Jackson, I don't have very fond memories of him.
He's weird because sometimes some games he's amazing, some games he just sucks.
Well, that's what happens when you play on a rebuilding team and you can shoot however many times you want.
That's true.
Trey Lyles, remember, was big at Kentucky.
He's okay.
But he's all right. Clippers, they just
Didn't do much.
They just
You know,
don't.
they gave up bad contracts, gave up cash. So
Yeah, they're
cash
fine.
and Ibaka for cap space.
And then again, Rodney Hood and Sebi Ojeleye are just wings. They just have every wing they want. Have them on the
They're
market.
not good, but they're wings.
They're fine. I mean, Norman Powell and Rocco are good, so kind of balances out. All right, one of our bigger deals of the day. Spencer Didwiddie and Davis Bertons to the Mavericks in exchange for Kristaps Porzingis and a 2022 second-round pick. I was all on board with trading Porzingis if you cleared up any cap space, but they somehow lost cap, I'm pretty sure. And they gave up a pick. I hate this deal for the Mavericks. I cannot wait to see Luka Doncic's reaction to Spencer Dinwiddie bringing up the ball with about 12 seconds to go in the game, down by 1. Luka comes over and Spencer Dinwiddie waves him off because he's going to
hits
take
the
the
shot
game
'cause
winner.
he's the
No,
lead.
he doesn't, because
He's
not.
clutch. He is clutch.
Oh, he's so clutch. Why don't you win a playoff series?
Okay. Don't
There
hit me
you
like that.
Boom. Anyway, I love the deal for the Wizards. You get a pick, you dole out your 2 shitty contracts, and you take a shot at a guy who was 7'3", can shoot from 30 feet, and was playing pretty good defense at the rim this year.
Tingus.
Take his fingers. Our resident Mavericks guy, what is your feeling on this?
I did not like it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense for them.
I was like already hesitant to trade for Porzingis because like he probably needed a new fit, but like I still think there's like the only way I wanted to trade him was like we got something that like would have like definitely made the team better and like a better fit for Dallas. And I don't even know what this did. They got another guard where Luke already dominates the primarily ball handling, and then we said we got Davis Bertons instead of Kristaps Porzingis down there.
And my biggest complaint with this is Dinwiddie's gonna have a role, I'm guessing.
He's good. He should be the second point guard or second guard.
Why?
Brunson is probably going to
Jalen
leave in free
Brunson.
agency.
That's what I'm saying. Jalen Brunson.
Brunson's leaving.
He's what I'm talking about for the rest of this season. Jalen
Yeah.
Brunson's putting up 16 and 5. He's having a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
I don't
But
see a
Dinwiddie's
reason.
big enough to play.
I don't know if he's just supposed to fill the Tim Hardaway Jr. role while he's out with his broken foot.
He doesn't shoot enough. Dinwiddie for
And
that.
he can't shoot threes the way Tim Hardaway can.
Oh, I know, but like I'm just trying to figure out why we're like, yes, let's get Spencer Dinwiddie.
Guess
We'll-
what's
we'll
Dinwiddie's
see.
league?
We'll see what happens.
Nah.
All right. Now to the
He's a
3
good-
biggest trades of the day. Oh, Boch, you want to say something?
Yeah, Davis Bertans might be one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
It's true.
Dude literally shot the ball like crazy, got the bag, and just wasn't great.
All right, Boch,
That-
pick a number
Oh.
1 through 3 when you're done.
3.
Okay. We will start with the 3rd biggest deal of the day. Aaron Holiday, the Suns for cash. The Suns applied apparently under the radar without a single Suns fan or reporter knowing for the disabled player exception of Dario Saric. He is out for the year. And they ate Aaron Holiday's contract into that DPE because it's more than half of Saric's deal. So I love it. I would have preferred Eric Gordon, but I think that DA is a big fan of Aaron Holiday, if anyone doesn't know. In fact, in 2018, I believe it was, when the Suns had the 16th pick and took Zaire Smith to trade for McCall Bridges, they asked DA who the Suns should take, and his answer was Aaron Holiday from UCLA. So I like him. I think he'll got to be better than Alfred Payton. He's got to be. And he will not have as much duty when the campaign gets back, but just some depth, some really good depth added at the guard position, and a fearless kind of guy. So he'll fit with the culture of fearlessness here, and not giving really up anything. So what about you guys? Any comments or thoughts that I didn't touch on?
He's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much going to talk the most about this. Oh, the other Suns, whatever I thought. Both 1 or 2.
2.
Okay, the second most important deal of the day. James Harden and Paul Millsap to the 76ers in exchange for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a 2022 first, and a 2027 first. You saw my uncut live reaction when the deal happened. What did I whispered, I like Ben Simmons in Brooklyn more than I like James Harden.
I didn't see that.
It's
tough.
I think personally, his defensive versatility, his passing on that team, and his size are going to be really beneficial in ways that James Harden won't be, because he's not especially, I mean, like, he likes the ball, but he's an excellent playmaker. And he's not, I think he won't really clash with Kyrie and KD. I feel like he's going to be very open to giving them the ball.
And everything that's been said tonight from every player is like, they're kind of glad they got Ben Simmons so they can push tempo now.
Yeah.
I don't think they were rocking the Harden's slow down isolate style.
So on the net side, I like that. Seth Curry is a phenomenal shooter. You can never have enough of those guys in the playoffs. Reunion of the Duke backcourt, Seth Curry and Kyrie Irving.
Someone was like, Kyrie's not going to play like half the games in Duke.
He played 11 games at Duke.
Hey, he's got 13 today.
I do not like Andre Drummond at all, and I've been very vocal about that for the last 3 years in this group. I think that he's a stat stuffer. He's a very good rebounder, but he can't do anything around the rim offensively. He cannot play defense to save his life, and he just kind of seems like an afterthought on a lot of teams that he's on nowadays. I don't really think he's like that very, very good of a player, but I think that the Nets aren't going to ask that much of him, and that his rebounding will aid them. So that's my opinions on the Nets side. Boat, you want to talk about the Nets side?
It's him or James Johnson.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I'd take him for rebounding. And you could also say him or Blake. And
You
Blake
could also say him or Claxton, because
Claxton
Claxton is the other center.
Claxton, I think, is the guy that's kind of just filling out. We don't need him anymore.
I think Nick Claxton is underrated, but I think
He's underrated, but we don't need him. Like
I would love to see the defensive versatility of a Claxton Simmons lineup.
I want to see a Claxton, Simmons, KD, and then maybe a Bruce Brown, but that's not enough shooting.
No, you want the real shooter on the team, Javon Carter.
Javon Carter's actually not playing bad. Like I slandered him
He's
a
not
lot.
bad.
He was really bad the first half of the season.
He's the reverse Landry Shamet.
He's the reverse Landry Shamet. I was about to say that yesterday or today. But honestly, wait, even the cap?
I was about to say that today. Yeah, okay. You still hate Javon.
I actually was. After he's shooting like 57% his last 3 games or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Harden, the fact he didn't want to admit that he wanted to leave is kind of annoying.
Well, no, he admitted he wanted to leave. He just didn't want the backlash of requesting another trade.
Yeah, so he didn't want to say it publicly, but he did say it publicly because it was tampering technically, all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, my favorite part of this trade, before we get to your thoughts on the Nets side, Pat, is the woman that tweeted, just gave James Harden a lap dance, and he told me he's a Sixer yesterday. And then everyone goes cap, and then today she tweets, told you. Phenomenal content. I don't even know if she's a stripper or if she gave James Harden a lap dance. I actually don't remember her name or her Twitter, but if this video somehow reaches you in the worldwide web, we appreciate the content. We appreciate the content, however it came to be. Pat, your thoughts on the Nets side of this deal?
Well, I'm a big fan of Ben Simmons.
We know that.
I got him winning another Rookie of the Year this year, although maybe next year. But no, I think he's going to be a really good fit in Brooklyn with being like the third option.
Yeah.
And like, cause that's really what he needs. I would have loved to have seen him play on like a team with like maybe like Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, but we never got to see that one.
And if you throw in like a guy like Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, those kind of guys would be a phenomenal
Seth
fit.
Curry.
Maybe
No,
Coach
Seth Curry's in that. Come on, Butch. He's playing with Seth Curry.
I think it's gonna be a really good fit in Brooklyn, and
I agree.
it's really about it. And then I also think I think Harden will be a good fit in Philly too.
I was just about to say, let's flip this and start with you. So, Philly opinion.
I think it's a good fit both ways. I think Philly definitely had to give up a lot to get Harden, but I think he'll be a good fit with Joel Embiid. And I think they'll be able to work nicely together with not pushing the tempo, but like slowing up. Like when they slow down, when Harden slows down the game, he'll have like Joel Embiid to dump it down to. So I like that for their offense late in the games.
I have never seen a player that has zero grounds for complaining and has zero grounds as an NBA player complain as much as Thanasis Antetokounmpo. That man has a broad mouth with
I
the ref.
was about to say, you're gonna say Harden.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was going with that either.
I'm watching the Suns game. We just found Bismack. No. Boach, you want to talk about the Sixer side of this for your
I love the fit in that starting lineup for them, but will their tempo and their, I guess, depth be able to withstand Harden?
they're
I don't
not a
know.
particularly fast team per se.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think he fits
Maxey-
offensively.
Maxey pushes a lot. And I still think he will if he gets the ball. But
Mhm.
they do love to slow it down and just pound Joel at the end of the game. And I think Harden will be very good with slowing the tempo down and getting Joel a little bit of rest on the court.
Yeah, but it's just so it's gonna be Maxey, Harden, Tibble, Tobias. That's great. But then their bench is
Isaiah Joe, who's a phenomenal player.
yeah, he's a good shooter.
Furkan
And then they
Korkmaz.
have Korkmaz. It's pushing it a little bit.
That
Yeah,
sounds
they're-
like championship rotation right there.
I have
Playoff
a feeling,
rotation.
I have a feeling they might look for a big in the buyout market if it occurs.
Hmm
And no, before anyone says it, I am not talking about NS Freedom.
They have Paul Millsap. I forgot.
Mm,
He's not that good.
He'll
He rebounds
play
a little bit.
He'll play maybe, but I don't love it.
The Knicks are actually selling.
And then on the Sixers side for myself, I do like the fit. I think that I don't want to go so much to say that I love the fit. I like the fit. I think that I like the fit in Brooklyn more than I like the fit in Philly for this deal. I think that James Harden's a phenomenal basketball player, one of the greatest scorers we've seen, and a phenomenal, just all around basketball player. But I don't love what he's doing to the idea of player authority kind of on their own careers, player empowerment. I think that players should have a say in their career more than they do. That's why I side with the players in a lot of CBA negotiations, because I think the owners have a lot of power, which is highlighted by the lockout this year in baseball. But I don't mind Chris Paul saying to the Thunder, I want to go to Phoenix, trade me to Phoenix, which might give you less of a return than someone else. Or Paul George requesting a trade to the Clippers, or Russell Westbrook requesting a trade to the Rockets. I don't mind those things. I don't love the way that Harden does it, because he stops playing basketball.
Yes,
On one side of the
it was
court.
shown.
And he
in that
does
Kings
it.
game.
He does it. He's done it twice in a year now. So it's fine for you to go out and say, I don't want to be on Houston anymore, and for them to get a return for you, which they didn't really. But then to go to the team that you wanted to go to and you forced your way to by not playing and pretending to gain weight, just to go there and then do it again in a year because you don't rock with the way something's happening. I don't love that. I think it hurts player empowerment stances in general. Now this rant was completely unnecessary. However, it got me to the end of the Phoenix game. So now, the biggest trade of the deadline. We're going to talk about.
Well, before we get to this last trade, the one thing, and like talking about like James Harden, the one thing I do like about James Harden though, with these last couple of years, is he does have the same birthday as me.
How about Clay?
I just figured I'd throw it.
Oh,
You did trade him, but you got Ben Simmons. So,
Wait, what?
or did you trade for him, or did you traded for
I
him? Right?
traded for Benson. I traded. No, he traded for Harden.
I said he has the same birthday as me.
I know. I'm talking about in fantasy.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had the trade.
Yeah, recreated the trade.
Okay, and the last trade of the day.
You're trying to be Craig. You want to be Craig?
So the Suns went out and filled the Torrey Craig role with Aaron Holiday, and they needed one more guy. So they picked up Torrey Craig. So I've seen a lot of reactions to this, like saying like you traded Jalen Smith and a pick for this guy. What trade value do you think Jalen Smith has?
This
guy has 0 options picked up. He's an unrestricted free agent after this year. Anyone who trades for him cannot sign him for more than $4.5 million. So everyone else can offer him more, but the team that trades for him can't. He had no role in Phoenix whatsoever. I like him. I think he's a fine player, and I think he has a chance with Tyrese and with Miles Turner to do some damage off the bench. There is no world in which the Suns lose this trade. Their championship window is now, Boach. I know you're a Jalen Smith stan somehow. Their championship window is now, right? This is when they want to win basketball. When they want to win the championship, and there is nowhere better. There's no fit better than a big wing that can play defense in the playoffs. That's just what you need. The Suns cut Abdel Nader in response to this move, or the Holiday move technically, but kind of this trading for Craig freed that role up. And he's 31. They sent us some cash. He's excellent locker room guy. Suns love him. The only reason he wasn't back in free agency was because we had to sign JaVale with that money. So it's the best of both worlds now. I wish Jalen Smith the best in his career in Indiana or wherever he ends up, and I think that he'll be a pretty okay basketball player. But I think Torrey Craig is the right move for the Suns to go all in right now and go for their championship.
I can't say no to that. I just like Jalen Smith because he wears goggles.
Okay. Timeout. On draft night, I don't know if I sent the video, but Andrew can confirm the screams of horror when I found out we were not taking Tyrese Halliburton at 10. I had been yelling for Halliburton since pick 7 when I thought he wasn't going to go. And I was just like, and it got there and they said Jalen Smith, or Shams might have tweeted it and I saw it beforehand, which they need to stop doing. Although I should have bet that guy at the draft. Me and Pat went to the draft one year. And this guy was like, okay, predict the next pick. And Pat kept whispering who was picked from Shams into my ear. And I was saying it. And the guy was like, are you like watching this on TV? I said, we're at the event. How could I be watching it on TV before it's happened in real life? Explain that to me, please. But I think the world fell down when I guess Chuma Okiki at 14 or 16 or wherever it was, and he was not buying it. So the act fell apart. But I don't know. I like this. Pat, you have any thoughts?
No, you got this one.
Yeah, great fit for the Suns. Just another body. How many bodies can we throw at Giannis? Because that might be a finals appearance.
15.
It's true. The answer is technically the Suns are rostering 16 players right now, I believe.
You can have 17 with 2 ways.
I think we have 17. We have Ish on a 2-way and we have Justin Jackson on
the answer is 17.
Yeah. Listen. This move probably cancels out Ish Wainwright for the playoffs. If I'm being honest, he's probably not making the playoff roster because you can't be on the playoff roster as a 2-way player. You have to be converted into a contract, and Torrey Craig is just better than him at the same position. But a former Buffalo Bills tight end, he does the dirty work sometimes. All right, that's the trade deadline. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. Any changes in your finals picks, fellas? I'm still sticking with my Suns. I've had it since last year.
Suns Bucks.
Just you think the Nets fan would be rooting for the Nets there.
I'm down bad. Until Mayor Adams lifts.
I promise you, not 6 hours ago, this man was claiming Miles Turner, Jeremy Grant.
The reports.
Every player was coming to the Nets for 2 picks in Claxton.
Bro, it's like the Lakers with THT and Kendrick Nunn in a second.
It's a first, actually. 2027 first.
I think they have they have a first.
2027. Trading an 8th grader or 6th grader or an 8th grader, one of the two, Kendrick Nunn and THT, and they're thinking they're going to get something. My only wish for this trade deadline was that Cam Reddish went somewhere. I love Cam Reddish. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, but we'll see. Hopefully he gets the hell out of New York.
He actually played today, though. I mean, look,
he's good at basketball. Tibbs just doesn't.
He had 12 points and 50% shooting.
Yeah, because he's a good basketball player. Tibbs just does not like him.
Nick's really said, what if we just grab Cam Reddish and not play him, but just make sure Atlanta can't use him against us?
True. If they make the playoffs, though, the Knicks.
I'm not. They're thinking regular season.
If the Hawks make the playoffs,
The Hawks are making the playoffs. They dealt with some pretty astronomical level injuries and COVID situations, and I know all NBA teams have. Suns have dealt with theirs, Nets have dealt with theirs, Mavs have dealt with theirs, but the Hawks are turning it around right now, so I think they'll be a good team. So yeah, I mean that's it. Pat, you want to throw your finals pick out there before we end the video?
Sure. Mavs 76ers.
Okay, so we're calling bullshit. All right, thank you for listening. See you later, folks.